Welcome back, everyone, for another episode of the Wednesday Watch List. This is my weekly look ahead to all of the new comics and things you should be on the lookout for when you go to your shops this Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. I'm going to tell you about some incentive variants that might be doing a little better as far as pre-sales go, some things you should be looking out for as far as variants go, things I'm looking forward to reading, etc. This is my rundown of all the new books coming out this week. Hopefully you're enjoying this show as well as everything else here on the channel. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure that you like, you subscribe, you hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. And while you're at it, go check out my toy channel if you like all kinds of other collectibles. I got a bunch of things planned as I've taken some time off with Baltimore Comic-Con, and then I got a little bit sick last week, so I've fallen a little bit behind on making content, but I got a bunch of shows planned, not only for here on Rennavision, but over for Toy Informer as well, with another top 10 toys, maybe a World of Weird collectibles, and maybe another checklist focusing in on some more non-sports trading cards. So if you like things that are outside of comics, make sure you go and check out my channel over there and give it a look-see. Give it a sub, and like I said, check out the content I've already got up, and I got plenty more on the way. Now, if you haven't tried Whatnot before, first-time users get a free $15 on me to spend on whatever you want with whomever you want. I know some of the boys do some Whatnot streams. I'm planning to probably get back to doing one or two of those pretty soon to get rid of some of the books I got around here. But regardless, sign up. You get a free 15 bucks to spend with whomever you like. No strings attached. You'll help the channel, and you get yourself something nice. And if you're in the market to buy yourself any supplies, use my link below. Use my code right here, RENNA10, to get yourself 10% off anything you order at BCW, whether it be your bags, your boards, your boxes, trading card top loaders, comic top loaders, whatever you need, any supplies you're going to probably be buying anyway, might as well get it as this discount and use my code there as well. Now, with that all said, if you want to see this week's rundown, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. All right, so let's just get it started with my personal picks. Now, these are some things that I can't wait to get a hold of this new Comic Book Wednesday, and I think you should be on the lookout for them too. Starting off with DC. Finally, Absolute Power is over, and with it, we are getting another kind of, not a restart, but kind of a fresh start with All In. So DC is releasing this All-In special. Darkseid has returned. Darkseid is coming. I'm a big fan of Darkseid. I like the big bad, whether it be in Marvel, DC. I like those kinds of stories. Amanda Waller just wasn't fitting the bill for me, so I'm happy to see Darkseid being the big bad we're looking forward to here with this new All-In special. A lot of covers here. A lot of wraparound covers, mind you, too. So here we go with the first one. This is 64 pages, which you're going to get for $5. I think it's going to be some form of a flip book, because when you look at most of the covers, they all lend themselves to the idea of being a flip book, where, you know, it's a wraparound, but it's upside down. So I'm assuming you'll be able to read this book both ways. Now, here's the cover A. As I mentioned, lots of other cover options here as well. We've got one here by Wes Craig, and again, it is a wraparound. And we do have another option here where you got the boys facing off against the new big bad. Well, not the new big bad. Darkseid returning. So here we go. Pretty cool cover there. And if you like that cover A, they got a shiny foil one too. So if you like that cover A, you can get it in a shiny foil version for a couple of bucks more at $7.99 if you're interested. And if you're really lazy and you just like the DC logo a whole heck of a lot, well, guess what? They got an option for you too. I am not a fan of these stupid logo covers. I've mentioned it many times before, but both Marvel and DC keep pumping them out. So I guess you guys are buying them. I don't know if you're buying them just for remarks or signatures or what, but it seems like a waste. But here you go. Get yourself the logo for DC if you really, really like that bullet logo. And there's even a 1 in 25 incentive here, showcasing Darkseid there, right there in the cover. And it is also sort of a, it's a wraparound, sort of a flip book kind of thing too. Again, pick the one that you like. Yeah, and check out and see where DC's going in the future. Now, apart from that, we've got another number one. See, that was the number one. These books I have here in my little picks list here could have fallen in the new number one section, but they were a little bit a tier above. So I put them here. From All In to Ghost Machine's new number one, Hyde Street. So this is the new series premiere. So they're finally growing beyond the top three of Redcoat, Rook, and Geiger. But here we got an epic new chapter in a character-centered horror story. So Hyde Street. I'm curious. I'm interested. I'm going to give it a look-see. Few covers here from the cover A, and you got a B cover, you got a sketch cover, and then we got a number of incentives if you're interested, from a 1 in 25 to a 1 in 50, which is really, really creepy with that little Boy Scout, and then a 1 in 100 homage callback to Blackest Night, which is also pretty fun. So we're going to look at this 1 in 100 a little bit more closely here. You can see it, Blackest Night, pretty cool, right? Because, well, we'll see how it does. Right now, the early pre-sale action on this book has been under 75, 80 bucks. Yes, there was one over at 125, but the asking prices are in that 125 to 150 range. So we'll see if those asking prices stay up here or if they meet the market, which has been spending under ratio. So just one of those things to track. We'll see what happens come Wednesday. But apart from that, if you are really in the mood to spend, there is a 1 in 1,000 that the other Ghost Machine books had before as well. That's supposedly going to have a sketch cover. So if your LCS somehow ordered 1,000 copies, they would have gotten this sketch cover. This is not an actual sketch cover. It is just an example they provided of what you might be able to get had your shop ordered that many books. I don't know how many are going to do that. But if they did, these things will probably be in, I don't know. It's a weird level of demand because it's to the point where they'll be so hard to qualify for and there'll be so few of them that demand and the price, I don't know if it'll ever really be worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes if things are too rare, you're not going to get a lot of people chasing it. They're just going to give up. They're not just going to play. So we'll see. We'll see how this 1 in 1,000 sketch plan works out for Ghost Machine going forward. I don't even remember what happened with the original three with their sketches. Now that I think about it, I wasn't tracking them. Just kind of forgot about them until this book came out and it's like, oh yeah, they did that before. So we'll see. We'll see how that marketing ploy works. But with that, well, this one's not a number one. I'm sorry. I misspoke when I said these are all number ones. This next book is actually a number 7. Deadpool number 7. Look out. It's the new Deadpool. By now, we all know that his daughter Ellie is going to be taking the mantle, at least for now. I mean, who knows how long this will last, but we'll see. If this is a hit with readers, this could be longer than you might expect. Could feature another spin-off, but we'll see. For now, this will be drawing some interest. I'm curious to see how this storyline goes and how this works, but Deadpool's dead. His daughter's replacing him. Let's see where this goes. This is the cover A. There are a couple of other options that do feature Ellie as well, with a Bagley cover and a Peach Momoko cover. And then there is Scott Kolish, I think, doing one that's old school Wade. So it is the only non-Ellie cover. So I don't know if that's going to be, that'll probably be the one that most people don't pick up. But there is also a 1 in 25 and a 1 in 100 version of that Peach Momoko cover featuring Ellie right there. And it is actually a really nice Peach Momoko cover. I know she gets a lot of heat, can be pretty divisive, but as I said many times before, I hear her art with me is hit or miss. This one, I like it. This one's a hit, not a miss. But we'll see how it does with the aftermarket, or at least the pre-sale market, because for right now with the pre-sale market, it is moving above ratio at $120 to $160. It's not bad. Asking prices, $130, $150, almost $190. We'll see where this one kind of lands. Like I said, it will all kind of depend on how well this story goes and how well this character is received. So this could go any number of ways. It could continue to go up. It could also die on the shelf. We'll see. It's all in the execution. So with that said, I'm still looking forward to checking this out. So that's why I have it on my picks list, because I want to know. Apart from that, I do have the rest of my reading list to get to here too, because there are a number of books I still just want to read. Starting off with, well, Batman. So we're getting all in. We're getting the new kind of spin, kind of refresh, restart some of these stories, move away from the absolute power stuff. Batman 153. Pretty cool cover A here, as well as there's a Nakayama, and then there's we got another option there. I forget, is that Tony Harris might have been doing that one over on the side with Joker. Not bad. And then we do have a 1 in 25, which I really like, and a 1 in 50, which I really do not like. I thought about doing a WTF section, but again, didn't feel like enough because this Simonson cover would have made it because, man, I am just not a fan of that 1 in 50. I just don't like it. It's just off-putting. I don't know. I just look at it. Sometimes art, it's your immediate reaction. I just look at it and go, meh, ugh. I don't know. His face is jacked. But I do like the 1 in 25 quite a bit. But you can find them both for well under ratio if you're interested in purchasing either. Now, apart from that, I'm also really curious to read the second installment of the Plastic Man series. So, Plastic Man issue 2 is also coming out and is going to be in my reading list with a cover A. And then there's a pretty cool B cover option here as well. I think I like the B a little bit more than the A just because of the red. The red really pops. But curious to see where this storyline goes. So, I'll be picking this one up to read. Mentioning Ghost Machine, we are getting the 6th issue of Redcoat. So we'll see some more of Simon Pure and young Albert Einstein and their misadventures right now. And you've got 3 options here. No more incentives. You've got an A, you got a B, and you got a C. No incentive foil 1 in 50 option or 1 in 100 option anymore. Just A, B, C. I like that. Doesn't really matter to me as far as which cover to get on this group. I'll probably just stick with the A, but they all have their charms, but nothing really stands out more than the rest. So pick whichever one that you like personally, and I'd say continue to give this a read because I think it's worth it. Wrapping up, Get Fury. We are getting the final issue of Get Fury, so we can imagine more shenanigans to ensue with Fury and Punisher in this war story by Garth Ennis. Looking forward to seeing how this thing all wraps up. So issue 6 comes out this week. And then finally, I think in my reading list, we're getting the next installment of X-Men. X-Men number 5. Again, not loving all of the new X titles, but I am enjoying a few of them. And the main 2 titles of Uncanny and regular X-Men, I am enjoying enough. And the art's a little inconsistent. That's my biggest complaint with this run so far. It's just Stegman's art isn't, I don't know. It's just like it's inconsistent is the best word I got for it. It's like some panels I really like, other panels I go, I don't know. That doesn't. I can't tell who the characters are supposed to be. They don't look like them. But we'll see. Cover A here. Then we do have a Campbell. Obviously, we're still getting those Campbells where there's the female characters are standing on big X-Men logos for whatever reason. This time it's Jean Grey standing in, and we will make that also a Virgin 1 in 100 along with a 1 in 25 option here as well by I think it's Elizabeth Torque. So if you're interested, pick these up. The 1 in 100 is going to probably be the choice of many collectors, but these things are weird. We were talking about this, I think, before the Hot 10 last week, but they seem like these should connect because a number of these 1 in 100, the Campbell covers on the X-Men run, have featured characters standing on huge X-Men signs. You got Jean Grey standing here. It looks like she's on the E, maybe. And then just some other versions. You can see Emma Frost is underneath the dash, the dash. And then you got Magic standing in front of, why did I say Magic? Marco's getting in my head. Magic is standing in front of the M and the E. Looks like they would connect, but you can see the angles are all wrong. So they don't actually connect. So what was the point? Unless, I don't know, maybe Campbell was watching old school Bobby Brown videos and every little step I take is just in his head because that's all I see when I see these characters standing in front of huge letters. But maybe that's just me. Now, with the 1 in 100, that one is obviously it's a Campbell. It's going to be doing well out the gate because there are plenty of Campbell fans out there. So 130-ish to 140. 135 kind of range is where this has kind of been pre-selling for. Asking prices are anywhere from 120 to 160. I don't know. We'll see if it holds. Many of the other ones haven't. Like you can get the Psylocke for under ratio. But, we'll see. We'll see how this one goes. This one is issue 5. And I think this might be the last one of this Campbell batch for the 1 in 100s and the options that he's given us. But we'll see. Now, outside of the reading pile, outside of the books that I'm really looking forward to in my picks, I do have those other books that I just got to get anyway. So this is my just got to do it pile. Some things that I just feel like I got to get them, either whether to continue my runs, just got to check them out, etc. So not as thrilled, but I just got to do it. My first option for this is going to be something completely different than what I normally do with this section. And that is, I'm going to try a series at the end. I don't know why I was waiting But Jeff Johns' run on this Justice Society of America 12-issue run is ending. I don't know why I waited so long. I liked a couple of the covers along the way with the Tony Harris ones, but I never really got into reading it. I like Jeff Johns. I like Jeff Johns' run on Green Lantern. Was one of my favorite runs back in the day. His run on Green Lantern before the Blackest Night, all that stuff. I also loved his Justice JSA stuff, the Justice Society stuff he did before. Big fan of that. I don't know why it took me so long to get down to read this, but I'm going to go back, and I'm probably going to go read this now that we have issue 12. I don't know why I just got to do it, but I do. Just something in me says, you know what? It's over now. Go back and get them all. Maybe because I think I can go get them all for cheap as opposed to buying them all for cover prices they were coming out. So we'll see what we can go find and go and dig out. But with that, we do have 4 covers. This is the cover A. We got a Harris one in the middle I like. There is a Todd Nauck. And then there is a Mike Ringo cover, so, being brought back out, which is nice to see. I mean, the Ringo Awards were just at Baltimore last weekend, and it's just kind of timely, kind of remembering a fun artist that's no longer with us, but still cool cover. Now, also, just got to do it. Daredevil. I'm a little behind. I'll admit I'm a little behind on Daredevil, but I'm a fan of Daredevil, so I'm going to keep my run going. So I do have to get the next installment of Daredevil. I've only got one cover here because the other ones are going to fall in other sections later on, so we'll leave it there. Daredevil, just got to do it. Ultimate Black Panther, also falling a little behind. I think I sent that the last couple of times too. I'll catch up, but I'm going to keep going at least through the second arc and try to catch up before the end of the second arc so I can decide whether I want to keep buying these or not. But for now, issue 9, I'll still be getting Ultimate Black Panther. We got cover A. Again, I'll catch up soon enough. We got a B cover, and then there is a 1 in 25 here as well. Also, I'm open to recommendations. If you guys think I'm taking too long and I should be reading these things, or I should be reading things that I'm not listing here, please recommend recommendations down below. I'm completely open to recommendations because I'd love to know what's worth my time before spending and investing a lot of my time and money into some of these books. I trust you guys to at least give me some good tips. With that, also in the Just Gotta Do It, I just got to do it at least to get the second issue, is I got to get the second issue of I Lie Popeye. I know a lot of hoopla with the Mike Tyson Punch-Out cover on that first one, but just got to see where this series is going to go. So I'm going to get issue 2. A couple of fun covers here. This is, I think, technically the cover A. I really like this one here in the middle. And then we got a couple other options as well. I don't think anything is going to capture the market like the Mike Tyson one here, but you never know. I mean, that one kind of has a Scotty Young 90s kind of Cable vibe right there with Bluto, and he's got little cans of spinach and the blaster. I don't know. Maybe, but I just want to check this out to give this another read. So we'll see how it goes. Now, on top of all that, here's a list of a bunch. I'm not going to say all because I did have to leave some out. I realize how long this section and this segment gets. And a lot of the books I honestly could care less about. I know most of you probably don't care either. So I'm not covering every single new number one, just some things that I think are worth a mention as far as new number ones go. So hopefully you like the kind of slimmed down version of this section. Starting off with DC and Creature Commandos. So DC horror, and horror's in the air. My son just got his Halloween costume today, so he didn't miss out and try to get a costume with the dregs are all picked through. So Halloween is upon us. It's only about a month out, but in this story, we got a vampire, a werewolf, a gorgon, an undead soldier walk into a grocery store, and all hell breaks loose, etc., etc. We'll see how this goes. 32 pages, $5, issue 1 of 6, starting off a new little mini series. We're getting the cartoon pretty soon. I'm interested. We've got a couple of covers here. This is the cover A. There is a Jim Lee cover there as well. Pretty cool. Actually, I already ordered that one. And then we got pretty cool reflection in the sunglasses kind of angle. Jim Lee, make it a black and white. That's going to be our 1 in 25 as well. Grab whichever one that you like. Right now, the 1 in 25 could go above. We'll see. Right now, only found one pre-sale, right around ratio. And the asking prices are looking for $30 to $40 right now. So we'll see if this ends up being above ratio or not by the time the week is over, or if anybody cares, or if they don't. But we'll see. It is a Jim Lee, but it is just a Jim Lee black and white. So that kind of takes a little bit of the edge off when you can get yourself a color version or, a trade dress version for cover price. So we'll see. DC also has a one-shot coming our way with DC's I Know What You Did Last Crisis. play on, I know what you did last summer. Kind of got a little anthology here thing. 8 chilling tales set across the multiverse. 80 pages for $10. I know these things can get pricey. You got a cover A here. Them reading the book. It's almost like an infinity cover, except it's kind of cut off. If you had Nightwing raise it a little bit more, we get a little bit more of that infinity action. But not bad. Two other options here as well, with a B and a C. No incentive to worry about, but if you want to spend $10, these are your other options. This one could have found itself in the Cheesecake segment, but I decided to put it in a new number 1 here. So Barbarella, Volume 3, number 1. Okay. Fresh off of Saving the Universe. I guess she saved the universe in the last volume. We're back with a whole another run of Barbarella. I think we are still getting a movie at some point. I don't know if it has any connection to the stories they're going to be telling in these books. Most likely not. But Barbarella. There you go. We got a Linzer on the cover A for $5. And then we got a couple of options here. Annie Wu, and you got a cosplay cover here if you're interested in that. They give you plenty to look for, including weird ratios like 1 in 7s. So here's a 1 in 7. I only showed this one because it is different cover art. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other ratios that are different variations of those other covers I showed you, from black and whites to virgins to etc. Copic partial colors, etc. It's dynamite. So plenty of options for you if you like covers. Godzilla. So we're getting another Godzilla Rivals. All these it's like so many one-shots. So many Godzilla one-shots. But here we go. We're getting another one. This is another one-shot. This time it's Mechagodzilla versus King Ghidorah. Well, okay. Seems weird to feature Godzilla so much. This one, at least cover A, it's Mechagodzilla. But then you look at some of the other options. We got 2 other options here with the B cover. It's Mechagodzilla versus Ghidorah. Also, I like this. This is pretty cool. But then the 1 in 10... why do we have Godzilla here? If it's Mechagodzilla versus King Ghidorah, aren't they the focus? Why we got old school Godzilla on here? Seems kind of weird. Opportunity missed on the 1 in 10. But pick up whichever one that you like if you're interested in reading some more Godzilla stories. Marvel Voices is giving us Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider number 1 here. So new couple of stories inside of this. We've got Reverend Anderson, get ready, because this one also features that newer character Phantasma. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, who's going to be part of the new Champions crew. We've talked about on the Hot 10, because that Ghost Rider 19 cover where she first features is there, as well as some of the other new Champions books are moving. But this is a story where we get to learn a little bit more about the character. So if you are curious and you're into collecting these new Champions, this might be a good book to keep an eye out for, because while she's not on the A cover, she is on the B cover right there. And you can see sort of a Ghost Rider sidekick, I guess. I don't know. If you want to learn more, go pick up this book. But I really do like that C cover option too. I don't know, it kind of has like a tattoo kind of vibe to it, almost like a Day of the Dead bit of art. I don't know. I just dig it. I just like the style of it. So put that one in there too. But grab whichever one that you like. It's only $5. Not too bad for one of these Voices special, because usually they do like the DC thing where they're like $9, and it's just so you get that extra bit of money. Yeah, they might put extra pages in there, but that's a lot to ask just to throw in a whim. Like, hey, just throw down $9 to give this one shot a try. It's better when I think it's better when you do less pages, less stories, and just do it for regular cover. I'd be more apt and open to go and purchase something like that. All right. Star Wars is giving us a new number 1 with the Battle of Jakku. So if you want to know all the story behind the infamous story of Jakku, I guess they're going to tell it to us here. So we got this new number 1 coming out here. 40 pages, $5. Not too bad. I really dig the Rod Reese Vader melted helmet cover. It's really cool. I could care less about the 25 different Phantom Menace 25th anniversary covers. Most of them, I don't. Yeah, you remember that classic scene where they all Batman grappling wired up the side of the building? Cool, me too. Let's immortalize it again with a cover. No, thank you. No, thanks. I don't need it. But if you want it, it's there. As is a 1 in 25 option. So there is a 1 in 25 option on this book if you're interested. Didn't see any real action going on yet. Star Wars can be hit or miss that way with incentives. So it'll all depend on what's in the guts of this book, I think, because the cover's not going to grab many people. But if something important happens, this could be sought after. See how that story goes. Storm is getting a new number one. I almost put this in the front section as well, but it felt like I needed this to kind of anchor my new number one section because this is probably the biggest number one, I think, personally, coming out this week. And that's Storm getting her own series again. It's not her first time she's got her own series, but I think she warrants it. And I think this is just going to up her profile even more. And there's some really cool covers on this as well. We've got I mean, it's Legacy number 12, so it's picking up after that, that 11-issue run, that pretty awesome Hans cover there at the end. Anyway, it seems weird that it's Legacy 12, that the other run should have gone at least 12, and I dozen or ended at 10, something like that. But here we are, new number one. Pretty cool cover there on the cover A. We've also got a B cover. We got a Waste of Time logo cover. If you want that, we do have an Inhyuk option, which is really cool. We've got a gold foil. There's some spot foil there. I guess with the lightning's all going to be shiny foil. That's pretty cool. You want to spend a couple extra bucks there. If you want to spend even more, you can get yourself an incentive with a 1 in 100 of that Inhyuk or pretty cool 1 in 25 and 1 in 50s. I like all of these. I think the art is gorgeous, and I wish I could get all of these, but I just can't afford them. So I'll probably just end up getting the trade dress in Hyuk because I really do like that cover, and I'd rather pay trade dress regular cover price than pay a 1 in 100 incentive price, because right now that 1 in 100 is pre-selling for, well, early sales are about $90, so it's under ratio, but the asking prices are looking for anywhere from 120 to 180. A little bit more out of my pocket, so I'll just go with the trade dress personally. All right, another number one to talk about that I'm interested in is Assassin's Creed Visionaries. There are 2 stories taking place inside this book, Powder and Decima. So you're getting 2 stories inside this. It's like a, I want to say a one-shot, I guess, a little anthology of different assassins and the different Assassin's Creed timelines. I like Assassin's Creed. It's one of my favorite video game series. I'm really enjoying Outlaws because it plays very much like an Assassin's Creed game. So I don't know. I also like this cover on the cover A. A couple other options here as well, with Massive Publishing giving us a B cover, and then we got a C cover there. You go back with some old school options. Altair, or no, that's Ezio. Duh. Anyway, and then we also have a homage here if you want to get that Wolverine number 1 homage. Yes, I know we've seen it probably more than enough, but if you want it, here's another one. And then we got another homage on the incentive book, which I think is a 1 in 10. It's kind of a callback to Batman the Animated Series. Also kind of fun. I don't know. We'll see. Not a lot of action on that 1 in 10 just yet, with no early pre-sales, and I only found one listed for $15, but that's one of those kind of weird books that could get hard to find, and people might go looking for it. I don't know. I like it. I might look for it, but I still would only want to pay ratio. I'd pay $10. More than that, I don't think I need it all that much. It's just for my own collection, but yeah, let's see. Another new series coming out of Boom. So, The Creeping Below, going to give us gods and devils and horror stuff for the horror time of year. I mean, it makes sense, right? So, we've got $5 on this new story. Vanessa Del Rey, Brian Azzarello, good creative team. Could be good. We'll see. Cover A, we've got other cover options here as well. Marie Levette, and then we've got a Diodato, black and white. We'll play around with these a little bit to give us incentives with a 1 in 10 and a 1 in 25. And then we've got a Jay Lee on a 1 in 50. And then there is an unlockable cover, which is just a black and white version of this Jay Lee 1 in 50. So be on the lookout for that, and don't confuse the two. Because, well, the 1 in 50 is a little under, a little around ratio. I saw some early listings and some sales around $40 to $55. So it's kind of in that range. The unlockable, we've seen Hello Darkness last week was one where the unlockables hits. Sometimes they hit, many times they don't. We'll see what happens with this unlockable. As right now, I found one early pre-sale for $20 and only one listing looking for almost 25. We'll see. It'll depend on the story, depend on how much people enjoy it, I think. Now, despite the overwhelming disappointment of many in the new Crow movie, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really speak to it. I just know not many people were hugely complimentary. We are getting a new Crow comic book series. So Sumerian's got it. They've been doing the Conan stuff lately. Right? Yeah, I think they've been doing Conan. No, Titan's been doing Conan. They've been doing their own version. That's right. Sumerian have got their own version of a Conan. Anyway, point being, they've got the Crow. And with it, we've got a few different covers and options here for you if you're interested. So this is the first time since 1996, apparently. The Crow coming back. Comics doesn't seem right, but I don't know. That's what it says. All right. We've got these other covers here if you're interested. I mean, they're Crowy. Crow Dead Time. So Crow, and a 1 in 30 option as well, because, well, why not? Not bad. We'll see how it does. Right now, I found one pre-sale for the 1 in 30 at $40 and one listed for $40. So we'll see if it stays above ratio or if that's it. Sometimes that's it. We don't see any more movement. This will be one of those wait and sees. Also, in the kind of long forgotten about 90s dark gothic hero-ish type characters, we are getting a new version of Shadow Man back again, spinning out of the Valiant Resurgence tie-in. All right. I'll admit, Shadow Man was one of my favorite Valiant characters from way back. The Jackie Boniface, if I'm saying his name right. I liked the old school Valiant stuff, Archer Armstrong, Eternal Warrior, Master Dark. I was into that stuff. I don't know if I'm into seeing new stories or not. So we'll see. But Shadow Man, Soul Eaters #1. We've got cover A, and we got a B and a C cover here, and then we'll take all of these and take the trade dress and make them DC like limited trade dress, and you can buy those versions if you want. Seems like a lot of covers for we don't need. Like pick a lane. Pick a lane. We don't need 2 options of every cover. Don't be dynamite. Don't be dynamite. But they're there. All right, we're getting near the end of the #1 6. Like I said, I don't want to keep this segment going too long. But Skin Police seemed weird enough that I had to mention it. So, from writer Jordan Thomas and artist Daniel Geet, I don't know. I'm horrible with name pronunciation. Becomes a sci-fi action spectacle that will force you to trust no one. It's 2142. Fertility levels have dropped. There's something about illegal clones, and you could see it. Sci-fi clones. It's going to be probably some creepy body horror type stuff going on in here. I mean, with a title like Skin Police, how could it not be? This is out of Oni Press. $5, issue 1. If it sounds interesting enough, go pick it up. This is the cover A. There is a B cover there as well. And then there are some incentives. The 1 in 10 actually has a really cool cover. Just the eye is just kind of grabby, like that dark, like, I don't want to say bleeding, dripping, crying, whatever you want to call it. It's creepy, and I dig it. Then there's like a pulpy 1 in 20, and then there's a black and white sketch of that 1 in 50 that actually shows off a lot of the detail that I think I'll admit I didn't notice on the color version. When I look at the color version, it just looks like a generic cover to me. But then when I see the 1 in 50 sketch, I see more of the fine line work that I think got lost when it was colored. Like you lose some of these little fine details in the sketch, I think, when the color was added. I don't know. Just a personal note, personal thing, something that I noticed. But grab that if you're interested. And finally, we are getting Svengoolie's 45th anniversary. So on MeTV, Svengoolie, horror TV show host, we are getting a 45th anniversary comic. He had a special last year, did all right. This is the 45th anniversary. We'll see how this one goes. You've got a couple of covers here, a couple of more covers there. Then there is a photo cover 1 in 10 incentive to be on the lookout for, too. There were a few sales of the 1 in 10 incentive, ranging from $12, then $20, and then the last sale, which was a couple of days ago, for $50. There are now none listed. Good luck finding a 1 in 10 of the Svengoolie 45th anniversary. Not to say that it's going to be pricey. It's just it does have a cult following. And if you are one of those cult fans, you might have a hard time finding it without paying a price, as you can see what the early pre-sales have already done. Because I just don't think a lot of shops are going to order enough copies to get the incentive for you. But we'll see. All right, let's move it on to the second half of the show. We've got later prints up next. This being the 10th month, we're in October or coming up to October, so we are getting the facsimile reprint of issue 10 of Marvel Superhero Secret Wars, the classic Doctor Doom cover. Cool. Can't argue with this. And a lot of people with number 8 probably being the top of their list. This is probably the other cover that we're looking forward to most, if they didn't already have the regular one in their collections, that people were looking forward to getting the facsimile reprint, possibly even spending the extra $2 or so to get the foil version of it, because there is a foil version of it. It is Doom. Doom lends himself to getting shiny. Then, for whatever reason, we have a different bit of cover art on the facsimile 1 in 25 incentive. I feel like this is a bit of a letdown to the original art, so I'm not surprised that this one isn't doing all that well as some of the other ones have. Granted, a few early pre-sales around $30, but only around $30 as opposed to that 40 to 50 we've normally seen with these things. Asking prices are looking for about 40, but I just feel like the original art is better. So why invest in the 1 in 25? That said, I can't say the same thing about the facsimile reprint on Uncanny X-Men 244. Never been one of my favorite covers. Granted, it stands out, and it was easy to pick out the first appearance of Jubilee out of boxes when you were digging not that long ago. But they decided again to do a facsimile and then do a different cover on the 1 in 25, which it's not that hard to do a better cover, but I mean, it focuses on Jubilee. Yeah, it's still kind of cartoony, may not be for everybody, but it lets you know the character that's inside. So here you go, your facsimile 1 in 25 reprint of Jubilee. This one, I am not surprised to see is doing a bit better with some early pre-sales. Yes, $20, $30, but the last sale was for just over 50. Asking prices are looking for 55 to 70. Not surprised. That's kind of the way this market has been with these things. I don't collect these. It's just not my deal. It's not my day. I just don't dig them all that much, but I get it. I get it. If you want to go and spend, you can. So this is probably the one of the facsimile reprints you got to look out for. There were no other later prints 1 in 25s this week, so no other Marvel reissues you got to worry about. So this is probably the one if you are a later print facsimile collector. Other second prints we're talking about here was we got Jeff Lemire's Minor Arcana #1, second print. Cool. We're getting a second print on Standstill #1, issue 1 out of 8 out of Image. So if you missed out on Lee Loughridge's first issue, you can get it here, second printing. If you missed out on Falling in Love on the Path to Hell #1's first 3 printings, we are getting a 4th printing here, as well as play catch up with second prints for issue 2, as well as issue 3. So if you want to give it a read, which I highly recommend, I recommend you read it, you can get these later printings at your shop this week. Same thing with, if you haven't read it yet, I'd recommend picking up Grommets. It's a lot of fun. I kind of dig this kind of a sketchy look. Like, it looks like the original cover art. Like, this is how it would be drawn on the Bristol board with the black marker and inked, old school style. I dig it. So that is the 4th print version for #1. There is a 3rd printing using a similar style for issue 2. Yes, issue 2's 3rd printing. And then we were getting a 2nd printing on issue 3. Yes, to help you catch up, because I think we just got issue 4, and I think 5 is coming very soon. So pretty cool. And I like the new art here as well on the 2nd printing for issue 3. Getting tongue-tied and lost in all this. Now, those are the later printings. New month means new set of variants. So say goodbye to Godzilla's, say goodbye to the art of the Marvel Universe, say goodbye to Hispanic Heritage Month. This month, we have Doom variants out of Marvel. So get your Dr. Doom covers, get them now while they're hot. Starting off with Daredevil. I mentioned Daredevil would have a couple other covers. Here's one of them. Daredevil versus Dr. Doom. Cool. Not bad. These are all pretty decent, I will admit. My least favorite is probably the Deadpool, which has, the silly, it's Amanda Connor, but it's kind of going for that like interior panel kind of telling a story vibe, which is fine. I just not in love with this one. Pieces of Deadpool. It's okay, but we also get Immortal Thor is giving us a pretty fun little battle between these two. Kind of dig it. Got Mjolnir out in front. Not bad. Ghost Spider. We got a Ghost Spider here with her and Doom. Also, pretty cool. I like the framing. A lot of empty space here, but I do like the framing of the castle look and the castle in the background. Storm, #1, also has one. Not bad with these two facing off. You get that classic, remember that classic Uncanny cover where he's holding her? And then X-Men as a whole, also pretty cool face-off here with Doom. They're all not bad this week for the Doom covers, I will say. I don't know if any one stands out more than the rest, but they're all decent. We're a little bit better than some of the Godzilla covers from last month. But we also have a new month for Stormbreakers. So last month was what, the Ghost Riders? This month, since we just got a new #1 for Storm, guess what? We're getting versions of Storm. Here we go. Daredevil and Storm. Cool. So I told you Daredevil had a couple other covers. They just fit other sections. Mortal Thor also. You got the Asgardian version of Storm back there. Is that what she went by? I can't remember. Remember it was a bit of a mashup back in the day. But still pretty cool cover. And the Ross actually ain't bad either on the original. If you're into Immortal Thor, there have been some good covers on that run. But that's it for the Stormbreakers so far. But it's the start of the month. I'm sure we'll get a few more Storm covers. Next, this isn't an announced or there's no special logo for these all-in covers. I just happened to notice when I was doing the rundown that there are foil versions with all these white covers of all these characters. So it looks like there's going to be a run of these by Daniel Sampierre, if I'm saying the name right. So let's look into them. Batman. So Batman's got one. Batman was 153. There was a foil Daniel Sampierre cover. It was, all I saw was white. It said foil. I don't know if it's going to be white and then foil, or if it's just going to be like a foil background with the character. I mean, we'll have to see in the execution when the books come out on Wednesday, but this is how they were revealed, with all the pre-listings. I feel like it's not going to be white. I feel like it's going to be some just foil background with the character kind of standing out there. But here are the other characters we're getting this week, because we're getting 4 of them this week, all foils. Birds of Prey, I believe, is giving us this Black Canary, and Poison Ivy is giving us a Poison Ivy. All same artist, all have that same kind of cool, kind of like character card kind of thing. And then we have Shazam on Shazam. So I don't know. It could be nice to see in the execution how they come out. But DC is also giving us their Trick or Treat. It's October, so here we're getting the Trick or Treat action. Remember last year we had all those Chrissy Zulo covers. There was like 8 of them, I think. We're not. Are we getting all the same artists? Are they all Kelly Jones? We'll see. I'll have to take a look. I didn't notice that they're all Kelly Jones, but now that I look at it, our first one is Batman 153, and it is Kelly Jones. We're getting that like little pumpkin cutout, and you got the little Trick or Treat logo. Cool. We're also got this one on Birds of Prey. Is this one Kelly Jones as well? Could be. I can't tell for certain. Yep, it is. I think these are probably all Kelly Jones, because I did notice that the Poison Ivy was a Kelly Jones one here as well. So we're getting 3 to start off the month. Looks like they're going to be all Kelly Jones. Again, don't quote me on that. I didn't look ahead. I'm just rolling with this off of what I put in my deck, but I'm pretty sure that's probably what they're doing. With that said, I got one homage for you this month. Not that there weren't homages we already talked about, but there's one that just kind of stood out, and it didn't fit the other segments. So it's here by itself. And that is Free Agents. So Free Agents get an obvious Fast Times. And yeah, anytime you give me a good representation of a movie poster, I'm probably going to put it in here somewhere, because I do like movie poster homages. I'm a big movie guy. I like it when they do this. So cool. They did it all right, trade dress and all, the layout and everything. So can't knock them for that. I think it's pretty cool. I wish I would have ordered this one, but I think I ordered the Kevin Maguire covers on these. But this one looks pretty fun. And with that, we got one more section. The show is running short again, which is also a good thing, because my voice still isn't 100% back. But our final section here are the Cheesecake covers. There are no random incentive variants that kind of stood out on their own that didn't fit other segments or other sections. So it's going to be an interesting week. But Cheesecake cover-wise, we've gotten a few. I really like this Sozo Micah Batgirl. I don't know. It just has like a classic kind of vibe to it. Just dig it. I mean, and it's cool in a way that there's not a lot of skin shown or anything like that. It's just a nicely done piece of art. But it still feels like it fits this section. There is, this is on Birds of Prey. What is it? We have 14? think Birds of Prey 14. Couple other covers here. Also, remember we had the Trick or Treat covered in there too, and I think the Black Canary foil. We got a lot of covers on this book. We got the group shot here, so you got all the gals right there, and then there is a Ryan Gonzalez 1 in 25, very bright as her style goes. But yeah, 1 in 25 there. Just checking, could be ratio and above. Early pre-sales 25, 23. $11. Okay, one cheap one, but there's always a lot of cheap DC options out there. But then the asking prices are looking for $25, $35, $40. So we'll see where this one lands. I mentioned Poison Ivy. We are getting new Poison Ivy. You can always imagine there being plenty of Poison Ivy covers for this segment and this section just based off of that alone. Cover A. We've got a Frizen. We've got pretty awesome. I don't remember who did the one in the middle. It was a newer name, a name I was unfamiliar with, but pretty awesome art there as well. And then we have Sebastian Fiamora. I know I'm butchering names. And then Jenny Frizen also is the one at 50. Now, that Fiamora doing that dark kind of creepy vibe, we saw it on the Harley. That one did pretty well. That was a 1 at 50, though. Then we had that Batman Joker, like, statue-ish looking one. That one did pretty good, too. Looking at this 1 in 25 on its own, we'll see how it does. It's pretty simple. It is creepy. I want to say simple in the sense there's not a lot of things going on. It's pretty shadowed and dark, but it is dark and creepy, and I do like that. Early pre-sales 20, 20, 35. Could it go above ratio? Maybe. Asking prices $25, $30, $40. It's one of those we'll see. And then same thing. There is a higher ratio, which I think undercuts that one a little bit. So you got the Jenny Frizen, different vibe here. Then that one, 1 in 50, high ratio incentive, early pre-sales, 55, 55, 67, asking prices, 40, there's one under, 55, and 80. So again, we'll see where it lands come Wednesday. Moving towards the end, we also have Dynamite giving us, of course, plenty of Red Sonja covers. Here are the different cover arts for you. The Linzer. We've got Moritat, I believe, and Selena, I think, in the middle. And we got a cosplay, if you're into that. Not bad. All good options. I kind of like the one there in the center with Throne. I'm also a fan of Thrones. Any Throne shot, I'm usually into it. Vampirilla, also, if you're into that. Dynamite's also giving us Vampirilla with a Perillo, obviously. Surprised we didn't get a Red Sonja Perillo, but here we go. Another Perillo. Vampirilla Dark Reflections, number 5. And then we got a Linzer. And we also have, I think it's a Codius, alias Codius. I'm butchering names. I'm not even going to try bother. I think we have Anceloto in the middle. And then we got a cosplay over on the side there as well. Grab whichever ones you like if you're into it. On the Zenoscope side of things, also a big proponent of this segment is filled with Zenoscope books. Fairy Tale Team Up, Robin Hood, and Mystère, number 1. Only 2 options that I could find. There might be other covers that sneak out, because there are some other options that were like store exclusives or Zenoscope exclusives, but we just had this regular cover A, and then we had this pretty awesome, I think it's Sophia Matas doing this cover here, was technically the B cover. I think this one's gorgeous. I like this. But I don't really buy many Zenoscope books, but I can admit that the art is really nice. So it is what it is. That is our last book for the list and for the week. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and hope you enjoyed this series as well as everything else we got going on here. And with that, thank you for all the support. Check out all the shows we have here, almost every day. I know I've slowed down a bit the last month or two. I'll start to pick up the pace on the content producing as I shake this bug and get back into the swing of things. But I do have a day job. I do have a full-time job outside of this, so I do my best. Especially when you're dealing with 2 channels now. So go check out Toy Informer as well, because I'll have to put some more energy back into that and keep coming back here for all of your comic book needs. And with that said, check out all my links below, and I will see you all later with some more content. All right, bye.